This is a full body stretch video for complete beginners to follow along consistently each week to increase your flexibility. If you're ready, let's begin. Okay, so the first stretch we're going to do is the child's pose. So you're going to head down onto the floor, sit back onto your heels and reach forward as much as you can and give that back a nice big stretch. Focusing on your breathing, deep breaths in and exhale. Just trying to release any tension, focusing on the breath. Expand the rib cage. Then we're going to go from here, breathing out along the floor up into Cobra, looking up with your palms flat on the ground, close to your waistline, hips pressed against the floor, again focusing on your breathing. And then we're going to transition into downward facing dog. We're just going to step, 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 1 foot at a time, pressing the heels into the ground, stretching the calves. And then legs straight, you're going to tiptoe up towards your hands and then just let yourself flop over. If you can touch your toes or touch the floor, you can do that. Just going to release the tension in the spine, and then when you're ready, you're just going to begin from the tailbone to lift up, all the way up your spine to the top. And then we're going to go into our next position. Go onto your right knee with the left foot in front, in a relaxed position, and you're just going to lean forward slightly. Then you're just going to squeeze your right bum cheek, which is going to make your right hip flexor stretch a little bit more. You don't have to tense your bum, but it does help to make the stretch more intense. And we're just going to transition that and do the exact same thing on the other side now. And each stretch you do today should be around 15 seconds long. Again, focusing on your breathing, squeezing that bum cheek, leaning forward. And then we're going to transition into our next stretch. Keeping the legs straight now. Open as wide as you can. Hands on the floor. Don't worry if you can't reach the floor just yet. And don't worry if you can't open your legs as wide. It will come with practice and consistency. And now we're going to go into the pigeon stretch. Let's take the left leg first, cross it over at the front, and we're going to bring our upper body upright, hands on the floor, and we're going to take our right leg straight as we can behind us and then sink down into the stretch. Just remember to keep your hips nice and squared, as it may be difficult for beginners, but it's something to work towards. I'm going to do the exact same on the other side now. Just remember to keep that back leg nice and straight. As you can see, I need to do a little bit more work with this stretch or this pose. And then you're just going to sink down into this one. Again, focusing on your breathing. You can just shift your hips from side to side so you can feel the stretch in different areas. Deep breath in and out. Now we're going to go onto all fours for our next position, which is the cat-cow position. So knees shoulder width apart, hands above the shoulders. We're going to tuck everything up, breathing in and exhale out. Breathing in, rounding the back, and exhale out. Notice how we bring the chin in when we inhale and head up when you exhale. Focus on your pelvis, tucking it in and bringing it back out. Then we're just going to thread the needle here, giving us a nice stretch in our upper back. Focusing on our breathing. Just going to reach to the side as much as you can and do exactly the same for the opposite side. Shoulder goes on the ground, both knees stay on the ground, and breathe. Now we're just going to go back into the child's pose just to reset the body. Give our backs a nice stretch. Trying to get our buttocks to touch the heels. And now we're just going to reach across to the left side. Hands very close together. This is going to stretch the lats. Just for a few seconds, and we're going to change sides. Reach over to your right side. Big stretch for the lats. Again, keep breathing. It's important to make sure that you're not completely uncomfortable. And now we're going to stand up and go into our neutral spine. Sink down into a nice squat position. Elbows on the inside of your knee. Hands together, and you can just push your hands together. Take your wrists down to make the stretch a little bit more intense. And make sure you're tucking your glutes underneath your spine. Try your hardest to keep your feet flat on the ground. Then we're going to just stretch the hamstrings. You sit on one foot at a time. We're going to stretch the left side first, and if you tense your left quad, you'll be able to stretch your hamstring on the opposite side. So, tense the quad, feel the stretch on the opposite side. Toes should be up. Transition to the other side, so right leg out straight. Sit back on your left heel. If you lean in towards your right foot, you should make the stretch a little bit more intense. Remember to squeeze your right quad to stretch the hamstring. Okay, next we're going to stretch your hip flexors. So sitting on a sofa or chair, we're going to bring your left leg up, fold it over the top, and we're going to apply slight pressure to your left knee, keeping it in line with your ankle, and your right leg is going to look like a right angle from the side. We're going to be focusing on sitting up straight, leaning forward slightly, and breathing. This is a really good stretch if you have lower back pain. Especially if you do a lot of squats, lunges, leg press. It's very important to stretch your hip flexors to avoid any back pain. Again, applying light pressure to the side of the knee. Don't worry if your knee isn't in line with your ankle. The more you practice this, the better you'll get, the more flexible you'll become. Okay, next stretch for the quads. We're going to put our right knee down on the floor with the right foot on a sofa or cushion or chair. Go up onto your left foot and you're just going to lean back. Try and get your bum cheek towards your right heel and just lean back. You should feel the stretch in your right quad from the knee all the way up to your hip. Big stretch for the rectus femoris muscle in the quad. Again, if you want to, you can squeeze your right bum cheek to make the stretch more intense. And then we're going to change sides. So the left knee goes down on the floor onto your right foot, and again just lean back. You might find that you've got one side which is tighter than the other. It's absolutely normal. Just keep working towards making them both the same with consistency, daily stretching. It's not a case of stretching one muscle more than the other. Just stay consistent. Again, you can squeeze that bum cheek to make it more intense. Next, you're going to need a door frame, so if you need to pause the video, do so now and resume when you're ready. Next, we're going to stretch the chest, so if you've got a doorway or door frame, just go into this position and just lean forward. You'll feel the stretch instantly. Keeping the arms at a right angle and just allowing your trunk to just lean forward. Big stretch for the pectorals. Keeping your hands flat on the surface. A variation, if you don't have a doorway, is if you wanted to do one arm at a time on a wall or a corner, and just lean forward, take a step forward. You do one arm at a time. Just make sure that your elbow is in line with your shoulder. You should feel that right up in the pectoral. Next stretch is for the rear deltoid and upper back. A lot of you have seen this stretch before. It's a nice easy stretch for the upper back. Targeting the rear deltoids, rhomboids, trapezius. Possibly teres major and minor. Always good to do after a back session. The next stretch we do, you're going to need a railing or a banister. So if you need to pause the video, do so now and then resume when you're ready. Okay, our next stretch is for the upper back. Again, just grabbing onto a railing. Just put your foot in front, anchoring yourself in and just hang back, allowing your upper back to be completely stretched. Just dip your chin down towards your chest so you can hit the very top of your back, opening up your lats, trapezius, rhomboids. Whilst we're here, might as well stretch your shoulders, grab onto the same railing and just lean forward this time. Keeping your arms really straight. If you wanted to, you could dip down lower to feel the stretch in your front deltoid. You don't need to grip onto the railing too tight, just a little lean forward. This is very, very good and beneficial for you if you do a lot of chest and shoulder press. Just allow those muscles to relax. Still focusing on your breathing. Our next stretch requires a space on the wall, so pause the video and resume when you're ready. Okay, moving on to the tricep. Find a space on the wall. Just lean on the wall. If you see here the gap between the wall and my foot, the bigger the gap, the bigger the stretch. We're just going to place your right elbow and tricep on the wall with the right hand on your left shoulder and just lean in. You can do this on the other side. Left elbow up and put that hand on your right shoulder. Again, just leaning into it. Alternatively, you could just get a towel and hold on to it with both hands behind your back in a same or similar fashion. And next we're just going to do a bicep stretch. So you're going to make a fist against the wall, putting your thumb and your index finger against the wall, straight arm, and just turn away from it. You should feel the stretch shoot up through your arm into your bicep. And we're just going to do the other side. Just breathing, hold it for a few seconds. Remember, with each stretch, if you need it to be more intense, you can just go for a little bit longer and pause the video if you need to. And that concludes my daily stretch routine for complete beginners like myself. Only takes about quarter of an hour and you've done pretty much the whole body, all reset and ready for another workout. Feel free to play this video again when it comes to stretching again so you don't forget anything we've done today, and I will see you in the next video. Thanks for watching this video, guys. If you found this at all helpful, don't forget to pulverize that like button and hit the subscribe button and click the bell icon so you get notified when I upload a brand new video. Thanks again. I'll see you in the next episode.